Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. Today's review is going to be a little different than normal, especially for this channel, since I normally do not do personal hygiene products. In this case, it's a body wash, but this seemed so interesting, at least to me, I thought, why not? Not every day you come across a body wash that has charcoal and clove in it, so let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so who makes it? Dove. And then this is their sub-brand or product line or whatever you want to call it, Men+Care. All right, now going down, this one is Purifying. There are some other choices. If you get Purifying, that comes with charcoal and clove. And if we read down here, it talks about how it's a hydrating body wash. It's a plant-based cleansers, and it does moisturizing. It has real charcoal exfoliants. Cool, and also it's sulfate free. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little about the two main things here. The charcoal as an exfoliant, I think you can pretty much figure that out. I guess they have little bits of charcoal in here that dig in and knock loose any bad stuff on your skin that you don't want, kind of like a scrub brush, I guess. And then clove. So let's talk about clove. Here I have some whole dried clove buds. And these are actually used in quite a bit of different applications, especially the oil that comes from these, which is called eugenol. Alright, so cloves are grown in Asia and South America. The uses from these, that eugenol is used, well, here they go. First of all, you can use it in, well, cooking. That's, by the way, where I got these. You can probably find them in your grocery store or spice aisle. And beyond cooking, though, they're used as far as agriculture. The eugenol oil is used as a fungicide and a pesticide. And then it can go to more recreational uses, like some fancy cigarettes have cloves ground in with the tobacco. And you'll know when someone's smoking a clove cigarette next to you because it smells like they're smoking incense. So, alright, but then it can go even farther to medicinal use. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, dental practices sometimes, or at least in the past, I guess, they probably have fancier things now, but they used to use it and they rub clove oil on your gums, and it would act as like a pain reliever, and also it has some antimicrobial benefit too. So, yeah. Alright, so cloves have quite a bit of use, and now we're going to get to see them what they're like in body wash. Alright, so on the back here in the little promotional snippet, they say here, a good shower experience takes care of your skin and helps you relax. It's a small step toward a healthier body and mind. Okay, and then some of the highlights, there apparently has this coconut oil in there as well. So we have some coconut clove. Should smell really good. Makes a creamy lather. Excellent. And also apparently is #1 dermatologist recommended brand, Dove. Okay. And then down here, the bottle, okay, recycled bottle, save the planet, and all that good stuff. And then PETA, so they don't test it on animals, rub it in their eyes, they don't do that. So if you care about the animals, Dove is being responsible. And then this bottle, again, must come from some recycled stuff. So, and then there's the ingredients. I'll just quickly, if you want to pause, and you can see, and right down there you can see it. There's the clove. Kind of towards the bottom, but it's still present. So, of course, most of it's going to be water, much like any body wash you're going to get. The majority ingredients going to be water, but clove is in fact on there, and it's not even the last thing. So great. So there's hopefully a decent amount of it, and there we go. Okay. Oh, almost forgot to show you. It says here this is 92% naturally derived. So they're, I guess, proud of that. So since we're talking about what's in there, ingredients and all that, I thought I'd show you. So if you look between the label, you can actually see the body wash inside, and yeah, look at that. It has like these little particulate. They're kind of the lighter gray, silver colored. Could that possibly be the charcoal they were talking about? But yeah, it definitely adds some interest to the item. In fact, that's one of the reasons I picked this thing up to begin with. I saw it, I'm like, what are the sparkles inside? So, alright, now overall impressions of the packaging. Well, we'll start with the bottle. This bottle does not have any fancy or unique or bizarre shape that's going to cause it to stand out among all the other body washes available. However, one thing I can say to its credit about the bottle shape is that its circumference is great for getting a really good hold on this thing. I mean, I can just get a dead grip on this. And so sometimes when they try to give you a lot of product, the bottles can get pretty wide, and then they're not that easy to grasp, especially when slippery. But this, I think you can get a great hold on it, and you still do get 532 milliliters, so there we go. All right, now let's talk about the label. The label's great, but it works especially well with the actual contents or the actual product. As we saw earlier, I mean, it matches the color of the label almost dead on. Okay, now let's talk about that label. The fact that no matter what formulation you get, this one's purifying, there are other options. No matter what option you get, this label right here is always going to be this gray, white, and silver. And that, by the way, is no coincidence. Dove went with that gray silver color, and because it's targeted towards, at least this product line is targeted towards men. And as far as the opening, I just go show you this real quick. It's just a simple pop-up. So, yeah, tried and true. Okay, so let's go ahead and get, I guess, to the unboxing, although it's really not a box, but let's start to look at the actual contents. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour some out. I got a little piece of paper here with a little piece of tape. So I'll put some of it on this piece of tape, and that way the liquid won't go right through the paper. And we'll take a look at it. Alright, so there's a little bit of it. You can see that particulate did in fact come with what I poured out. Now, I also want to mention I did not shake the bottle. I just, like I said, tipped it and squeezed and a little came out. So the good news is that you don't have to keep shaking it. At least apparently you don't have to keep shaking it. I haven't really done much other with the bottle except have it upright, so that's good. Alright, as for the smell, well, there's definitely an odor, a good one, but yeah, it's noticeable even with just a little bit of the body wash out. Now, so what does it smell like? Well, there's it sounds like a two-step process. The first smell is the coconut. You'll notice that right away. And then after that, odor starts to kind of fade away from your receptors in your nose. Then you smell the clove, kind of as like an after smell. So, yeah, but it's noticeable. Now, let's see how it feels. Alright, so it's, well, first of all, you definitely can feel the exfoliant. It does feel like a little sand. Not sharp, but it's noticeable. So I'd say it's about as noticeable without being like abrasive to the point that it might be irritating. So I think that's a good stopping point for how much grittiness it should be. Other than that, though, the body of it, so to speak, the more liquid part, is, I would say, normal. It's not very thick, but it's also not very runny either. So, and just that little bit that I had on the tape, I've rubbed it, and you can see that it's, keep in mind I haven't put any water on my finger yet, so, but you're starting to see some foam right there. Yeah, but again, no water, so that's just the body wash on its own. So continuing to rub. Yeah, and after you rub enough, those little particulates, the exfoliant, it kind of seemingly disappears. So I'm not sure if I just spread it further along my finger or if I've rubbed it into my skin, but now I don't even feel those. Alright, I'll have to obviously test it on a bigger area of my body than just my finger, but that's the first impressions right there. Alright, so here are two other Dove body washes. But why am I even bringing these up? Well, for two reasons. First, I wanted to further drive home the packaging that I was talking about earlier. You can see the Men+Care packaging versus the normal Dove. Next thing is the fact that if I'm going to tell you my impressions on the item I'm doing a review on, they're going to be consciously and subconsciously a comparison to what I would normally use, which would be one of these. So I should kind of tell you just a little bit about these. Here is your Dove Sensitive Skin Body Wash. This stuff is great if you have somebody who is sensitive to like perfumes or dyes. This has neither of them, so this is a hypoallergenic, and this stuff goes, you get your money's worth. This stuff you'll see it's very viscous, and a little bit goes a long way. Great solution for if you're living with multiple people and you only want to buy one body wash type. You could get a bulk buy this, and no one should have a problem with it. All right, this here, this is a little more fragrant, and yeah, you definitely has an odor, especially compared to this, which is hypoallergenic again. So this is good. I like it, and there was really no reason for me to change off of it. And this is probably a little more along the lines of the other stuff you'll see that, has an odor, kind of more of the cologne-y, no, not really cologne-ish, but you get the idea. It leaves you with a scent after you leave the shower or bath. And yeah, I like it. So yeah, it says invigorating scent. So anyway, okay. Now what I thought I'd do to the viscosity test, which we're going to do next. All right, so there are the three on the left. We have the sensitive skin. In the middle, we have the cool fresh, and then on the far right there, we have the purifying charcoal plus clove. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at an angle, and we'll see how they flow down. Alright, so I got my results, and before we get to that, two things I have to make sure I note. First, we're looking at this, you see how it says hydrating body wash. Over here we have a nourishing body wash, and then right here we have the body and face wash. So I can tell you right now that I've used this on my body and face, of course. I've used this on my body and face, absolutely no problem, especially with how gentle and soothing that this is. You shouldn't have a problem at all with that. But on this one with the exfoliants in there, I wanted to make sure, so I called customer service. I actually spoke to a person, and they discussed it with their team, and they came back with it. There's really no reason you couldn't use this on your face. They just said be careful to make sure you rinse it off as you would with any soap or detergent. And also make sure you don't get it in your eyes, more so than with anything else, because this has that exfoliant in it. And you can imagine if that got in your eye, that could be quite irritating to say the least. Alright, so now that covers that. So the next thing I want to tell you is earlier I was looking at this and we saw the little speckles, the light gray speckles. I'm going to zoom in here. Alright, so if we look closely, right there, kind of towards the middle of the screen, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe you can see more, little black specks. So, and those are quite coarse, relatively speaking, of course. But I'm starting to think those are the charcoal. However, the light colored gray ones are also textured. So I guess they both exfoliate maybe, but the black ones seem to be a little more coarse. So I'm going to guess those are the charcoal. Alright, so it's been 4 days in a row now that I've used this product. So how does it stack up against the other two? Well, I'm going to start by removing this from the comparison for the main reason that the consistency of this is so different than that, and especially that I really feel the experience of using this is kind of in its own category. So I think the comparison is better between these two. So how is it to use this? Well, let's start by answering the big questions first. Does it work? Meaning, do I feel clean after using it? Yes, quite a bit so. Great, so moving on. Did I experience any irritation, rashes, or abrasions to my skin from using this? No, but keep in mind it does have that exfoliant in there, so you're going to want to be careful if you use it on your face, which by the way I did all 4 times I've used it. So now let's go shift over to the smell. Clove was one of the main reasons I picked this up to even begin with. I read that, I pretty much already had the product in my hand, okay? So I was actually a little disappointed that the amount of clove isn't where I would like it to be. Now keep in mind, this is not being marketed as like a sensitive skin type product, so I think the door is kind of open for them to go full throttle on the cloves. As you know, or as I can tell you, cloves are not a subtle spice. They are definitely potent. So it would have been great to experience that clove smell for more than just the time you're applying it to your body. Yes, there's some, it's light. You can still smell it after your bath or shower, especially if you use a lot of it, but it doesn't have the intensity that I would have liked. Okay, now going back to the exfoliant. One thing I realized, let's talk about those 4 days. The first day and the second day, that was the most noticeable thing about this product. I mean, beyond the smell, beyond anything else, I felt the exfoliant on my skin. It felt like sand was mixed in my body wash. Now, day 3, it was kind of not so bad, and by day 4, it pretty much just accepted it. This is my body wash I'm using now, and although I can still feel the exfoliant, it isn't like it's I'm just getting used to it. Okay, and I think that'll probably be the same if you choose to use this. How it will be with you as well. If you want to lessen the scrapey feel or like sand on your body kind of feel, what you can do is apply this when you're under this direct stream of your shower. Because as you can imagine, the more water that mixes with it, the less the scrape sensation of the exfoliant is there. Because, well, the water's brushing a lot of it off, right? So, yeah, that's one way of softening it a little. But if you want max exfoliation, I'll go apply this and lather it outside of the main stream of water, and then once you're all nice and soaped up, then go in to rinse off. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about, kind of in conclusion, what do I think? I think that it's an interesting product, and I feel this is kind of like the, if you've ever used pumice hand soap, you know it's a very abrasive soap, and it's meant usually like mechanics and whatnot will use it because it gets all that grease and grime off their hands. So I kind of feel like this is kind of like the, not quite as extreme, but similar to that in body wash form. So if you get very dirty and you really want to get it all off, this would probably be a good product. But for me, since I don't get that dirty on a daily basis, I feel that I'll probably be using this as my most of the time body wash, and this for those days I want to get extra clean. So, but I will be honest, Dove, it would have been nice, more Clove, but anyway, it's still pretty good.